Dr. Raul Mendez wiped the sweat from his forehead as he stepped into the crumbling ruins of Yaxchilan. The jungle around him was alive with noise. Birds called out from high trees, insects buzzed in every direction, and the humid air clung to his skin. He had been coming to these ruins for years, but today felt different. Today, he carried something that could change everything. The codex was small, fragile, and covered in layers of dust and dirt. Raoul had found it hidden behind a stone panel in a forgotten temple chamber. Its pages were worn, but the symbols on them glowed faintly as he turned each page. He had never seen anything like it. The drawings showed patterns of stars, serpents, and long passages beneath the earth. Some scholars had called these stories myths, but Raoul believed otherwise. "This is it," Raoul whispered to himself. "This could be the map we have been looking for." He carefully wrapped the codex in cloth and placed it in his satchel. Around him, the temple walls were covered in moss and vines, and the air smelled of wet stone and earth. The carvings on the walls told stories of warriors, kings, and strange beings. Raoul traced his fingers along the stone serpent winding down the wall. He could almost feel the history pressing against him. Raoul was not alone in his excitement. His team had gathered nearby, ready to begin the next part of the journey. There was Lena, a young linguist who could read the most ancient scripts, Tomasz, an engineer who could solve any mechanical puzzle, and Marco, a guide who knew the jungle better than anyone alive. Each of them carried their own skills and hopes. "Dr. Mendez," Lena said, her voice low but full of energy, "these symbols are incredible. I've never seen a combination like this before. It is as if the walls themselves are alive with knowledge." Raoul smiled. "That is exactly what I think, Lena. The codex led us here, but these walls confirm it. The passage exists. Somewhere beneath us, there is a path no one has walked in hundreds of years." Tomasz adjusted his backpack. "Do you really think it is safe? We have no idea what is down there. There could be traps, dangerous animals, or worse." Raoul turned to him, eyes bright. "Tomasz, that is why we came. If we never take risks, we will never learn. Humans have always explored the unknown. This is just another step." Marco, who had been quietly observing the ruins, spoke next. "The jungle feels different today. The air is heavier. It is as if the forest itself knows something is about to happen." Raoul nodded. "You are right. I feel it too. There is power here, a knowledge waiting to be discovered. We have to respect it, but we also cannot turn back now." As they prepared for the journey deeper into the ruins, Raoul unrolled the codex. It had images of tunnels beneath the earth and instructions written in symbols that seemed to combine science and art. The passage it described was long and dangerous, but it led to what the codex called the underworld. Raoul did not know what to expect, but he knew that the discovery could change the way humans saw history and the universe. The group moved carefully, their feet crunching on fallen leaves and broken stones. Every step was a reminder that they were walking where few humans had been before. The walls of the ruins were tall and imposing. Moss covered much of the stone, and strange carvings seemed to watch them as they passed. In one chamber, Raoul noticed a carving of a jaguar with glowing eyes. He stopped and traced the lines of the carving with his hand. "These symbols," Raoul said quietly, "they are more than decoration. They are warnings, directions, and history. The Mayans wanted to tell a story and protect it at the same time." Lena crouched near a series of steps leading down into darkness. She pointed at faint carvings along the walls. "Raoul, look here. The symbols match the codex. We are on the right path. Whoever made this wanted only those with knowledge to find it." Raoul's heart raced. "Exactly. This is what we were hoping for. It is not just a passage. It is a test, a challenge, and a treasure all in one." As the team descended deeper into the temple, the light from the sun faded. The air grew cooler and heavier. Raoul could hear the faint drip of water echoing through the stone halls. Shadows moved across the walls as their torches flickered. He felt a mixture of fear and excitement. The unknown was both beautiful and dangerous. In one chamber, Raoul noticed strange glowing symbols on the floor. He knelt and touched one. It pulsed under his fingers, warm and alive. He stepped back in awe. These symbols, they are reacting to us. The codex was right. There is something here that is not just stone and dust. Lena studied the symbols closely. It is almost like they are guiding us. If we follow the patterns, they may show us the next step. Tomasz frowned. Or it could be a trap. We should be careful. These symbols may not be friendly. Raoul shook his head, determined. No, I believe they are meant to guide us. We have come this far. We will continue, but we must respect whatever is here. As the group moved forward, Raoul felt a strange energy in the air. The symbols glowed brighter as they approached a massive stone door at the end of the corridor. The door was carved with serpents that twisted and turned into patterns of stars. It was the entrance to the passage described in the codex. Raoul ran his hand over the carvings, feeling their power and mystery. This is it, Raoul whispered. The Mayan Underworld passage. It is real, and it is waiting for us. The team exchanged looks of excitement and fear. They knew that what lay ahead could change everything they knew about history and humanity. The jungle outside seemed distant now, replaced by the mystery of the stone and the unknown path beneath their feet. Raoul took a deep breath and pressed his hand against the stone door. A faint glow spread across the carvings. It was as if the passage itself recognized their presence. The adventure had begun, and humanity's courage would be tested in ways they had never imagined. Raoul pressed his hand against the massive stone door. It shivered under his touch, not with fear, but with anticipation, as if it had been waiting for someone to open it for centuries. The faint glow from the carvings spread along the edges, lighting the corridor ahead. Raoul signaled to his team. Lena, Tomasz, and Marco stepped forward, hearts pounding with a mix of excitement and nervousness. The door slowly began to slide open, revealing a dark tunnel that descended into the earth. The air smelled of damp stone and ancient history. Raoul lit a torch and held it high, casting long shadows on the walls covered in intricate glyphs. Each symbol seemed to tell a story. Some depicted warriors with shining weapons, others showed serpents coiled around stars, and a few displayed strange creatures that neither Raoul nor Lena had seen before. This is incredible, Lena whispered, running her fingers along the carvings. These symbols, they are like a language of the universe. The codex was just the beginning. The walls are the real story. Tomasz adjusted his gear. It is beautiful, yes, but it also feels dangerous. Look at the ceiling. Some stones are loose. One wrong step and we could be trapped. Marco, who had been observing the tunnel, spoke carefully. We must move slowly. The passage is old, and the jungle above has a way of reaching down. Roots, water, even small creatures could cause problems. Raoul nodded. We will be careful. But remember, this is what we came for. Humans have always explored the unknown. This tunnel is part of our story now. The team advanced, each step echoing in the narrow corridor. Water dripped from the ceiling, forming small pools on the stone floor. The temperature dropped as they went deeper, and the air became thicker. Raoul noticed that the walls felt alive, almost as if the symbols were watching them. After an hour of careful walking, they reached a chamber filled with natural light filtering from cracks above. The room was large and circular, and in its center stood a stone pedestal. On it lay a small artifact that glowed faintly. Raoul approached it cautiously. This must be part of the test, he said, examining the object. The Mayans built this passage not only to hide knowledge but to guide the worthy to it. This artifact may be a key. Lena stepped forward, her eyes wide. The symbols on the pedestal match the codex. If we take it, we may unlock the next part of the passage. Rahul hesitated. We need to be careful. These passages were built to protect knowledge. If we take it incorrectly, we could trigger something dangerous. Tomasz examined the pedestal closely. There is a small indentation here. It looks like the artifact fits perfectly. Maybe it is a pressure mechanism or a lock. Rahul nodded and carefully placed the artifact into the indentation. The stone pedestal began to vibrate slightly, and a soft hum filled the chamber. The walls shifted as a hidden doorway slowly opened. The team gasped in awe. The next part of the passage was revealed, deeper and more mysterious than the corridor they had just left. This is it, Rahul said quietly. The path continues. We are going further than anyone has gone in hundreds of years. Marco took the lead as they entered the new corridor. The walls here were smoother, with fewer carvings, but the air felt heavier. Strange shadows danced in the torchlight, and the sound of water echoed from somewhere below. Rahul could feel his heart racing. The unknown stretched before them like a challenge waiting to be faced. As they walked, the passage began to narrow. In some areas, they had to bend low or crawl through tight spaces. Roots from above snaked down into the corridor, some thick as an arm, others like thin threads brushing against their skin. The team remained alert, knowing that the passage would not be easy. After several hours, they reached a large cavern. It opened into a natural underground chamber with a small pool of crystal clear water. The walls were covered in glowing minerals that cast light across the space. Rahul knelt and touched the water. It was cool and fresh, unlike anything he had felt in the humid jungle above. This is beautiful, Lena said softly. It feels alive. Like the earth itself is watching us. Rahul looked around, his eyes sharp. Stay alert. Beauty often hides danger. The Mayans were careful architects. This chamber may be a resting place, a test, or a trap. We cannot be careless. Tomasz examined the edges of the pool. The water seems shallow, but there are markings on the floor. Lines and symbols beneath the surface. They are too precise to be natural. Rahul knelt and studied the symbols. These are instructions. They tell us how to cross the pool safely. We have to follow them exactly. The team moved forward slowly, stepping only on the marked stones beneath the water. Each step caused small ripples, but nothing dangerous appeared. As they reached the other side, a low rumble echoed through the chamber. Rahul felt the vibrations under his feet. What was that? Marco asked, eyes wide. Rahul shook his head. A warning. The passage is alive in its own way. It is testing us, reminding us that we are visitors in this ancient world. They pressed on, leaving the glowing chamber behind. The corridor became darker, the air thicker, and the sound of dripping water louder. Rahul led the team, torch held high, eyes scanning for any signs of danger. Suddenly, the ground shook slightly, and a section of the wall collapsed ahead. Stones tumbled down, blocking part of the corridor. Tomasz quickly assessed the situation. We can move these rocks, but it will take time. Be careful. Any mistake could trap us here. The team worked together, lifting stones and clearing debris. Rahul felt a surge of pride. Humans, when united, could overcome any obstacle. The passage was testing their strength, intelligence, and teamwork. After clearing the rocks, they continued, finally reaching a chamber with a high ceiling. The walls here were covered with paintings of strange beings and humans working together. The images suggested cooperation and understanding between species that Rahul could not explain. Lena studied the paintings closely. These may be stories of contact with otherworldly beings, she said softly. The Mayans may have known more about the universe than we ever imagined. Rahul nodded, his mind racing. That is why we are here. To discover, to learn, and to prove that humans are capable of understanding and overcoming the unknown. This passage is not just a tunnel. It is a test of what we can achieve. As they prepared to rest for the night, Rahul looked at the codex. The pages glowed faintly, as if encouraging them to continue. He felt a deep sense of connection to the humans who had built this passage and the generations that had come before him. The jungle outside seemed distant now, replaced by the mystery and challenge of the underground world. Rahul knew that what lay ahead would be even more dangerous, but he also knew that humanity had the courage, intelligence, and determination to face it. And so, with torches lit and hearts full of determination, Rahul and his team ventured deeper into the Mayan underworld, ready to face whatever trials awaited them. Rahul led the team deeper into the underground passage. The air had grown cooler and thicker, and the walls seemed to narrow around them. Every step echoed through the stone corridors. The torchlight flickered across intricate glyphs, casting shadows that danced on the walls. Rahul could feel the weight of history pressing down on them. This passage was not just a tunnel, it was a story waiting to be understood. Lena walked close behind him, her eyes scanning the walls for symbols she could read. "Rahul," she said quietly, "I think the patterns are changing. Look at these symbols. They are different from the ones we saw before. They almost seem like instructions." Rahul stopped and studied the markings. Indeed, the symbols were arranged in a pattern that suggested movement. "You may be right, Lena. It could be a guide or a warning. We need to follow the path carefully." The corridor turned sharply, leading them into a larger chamber. The ceiling here was high, and the walls were covered in carvings of creatures and humans in strange poses. In the center of the room was a series of platforms, suspended over a pit that seemed bottomless in the torchlight. The platforms were narrow, and the space between them looked impossible to cross. Tomasz stepped forward and examined the platforms. "This is a test," he said. "We have to cross carefully. One wrong step, and we could fall. The Mayans must have designed this on purpose." Marco, who had been silent, nodded. "It is like the stories of ancient trials. The passage tests strength, intelligence, and courage. We must move as a team and trust each other." Rahul looked at the pit and took a deep breath. "This is more than just physical. It is a test of focus and planning. We will go one at a time, but we must communicate clearly." The team prepared to cross. Rahul went first, placing his foot carefully on the first platform. It shifted slightly under his weight but held firm. He moved slowly, feeling every inch of the stone beneath his feet. He reached the next platform, testing its stability before continuing. The pit below seemed to stretch forever, but Rahul focused on the path ahead. Behind him, Lena and Tomasz watched carefully. "We can do this," Rahul called back. "Trust the platforms and move steadily. Watch each other." Lena began her crossing, her heart pounding. She kept her eyes on the symbols etched on the edges of the platforms. Each step felt like a careful dance between balance and bravery. The pit below was dark and intimidating, but Lena focused on the task. She made it halfway across when one of the platforms shifted slightly. She froze, feeling the stone wobble. "Steady, Lena," Rahul called. "You are doing well. Move slowly, and trust your steps." Lena took a deep breath and shifted her weight carefully. The platform stabilized, and she continued, finally reaching the other side. Tomasz followed, using his engineering knowledge to judge which platforms were safe to step on. Marco watched them all, guiding their movements and ensuring no one rushed. Once the team had crossed, they paused to catch their breath. The chamber was silent except for the faint hum of the stones beneath their feet. Rahul studied the walls again. The carvings here seemed to glow faintly, as if acknowledging their success. "This is only the beginning," Rahul said. "The Mayans wanted to see if humans could think, act, and work together. We passed the first test, but there will be more. As they moved forward, the corridor became narrower, twisting and turning in ways that made it hard to keep their sense of direction. Water dripped from the ceiling, and small pools formed on the stone floor. The walls were slick in places, forcing the team to move carefully. Rahul held the torch high, scanning the path ahead. Suddenly, the ground beneath them trembled slightly. Stones shifted, and a faint rumble echoed through the passage. Tomasz stopped in his tracks. The passage is alive in its own way, he said. It reacts to us. We must be careful not to trigger anything dangerous. Rahul nodded. The Mayans built this with precision. Every movement matters. Watch the walls and the floor. There may be hidden triggers. They continued, moving cautiously. After some time, they reached a chamber filled with statues of humans and strange creatures. The figures were carved in detailed poses, each holding an object or making a gesture. Rahul examined the statues closely. These statues are not just decoration, he said. They are part of the lesson. Each gesture tells us something about the path ahead. We need to understand them to move forward safely. Lena studied the statues, her fingers tracing the carvings. Look here, she said. The positions of their hands match the symbols on the floor. It is like a map. If we follow their gestures, we will find the correct path. Rahul smiled. Exactly. Humans have always been able to observe, learn, and adapt. This is another test of our intelligence and understanding. Let's proceed carefully. The team moved through the chamber, following the statue's gestures and the floor symbols. Each step required attention and coordination. The path twisted and turned, sometimes requiring them to climb over rocks or squeeze through narrow openings. The chamber seemed endless, but Rahul's focus and leadership kept the group moving. Finally, they reached another large room. The ceiling was covered with carvings of stars and planets. A faint light shone from cracks in the stone, illuminating a pattern on the floor. Rahul knelt and examined it closely. This is different, he said. It is like a puzzle. The floor symbols form a sequence. We need to step on them in the right order to unlock the next passage. Tomasz studied the pattern. It looks like a logic problem. If we follow the sequence, the path will open. If we make a mistake, there may be consequences. Rahul nodded. This is why humans succeed. We can think, plan, and act carefully. Let's solve it together. The team worked carefully, testing each step and watching the symbols. They moved slowly, communicating constantly. Finally, after a tense few minutes, the floor shifted slightly, and a hidden doorway opened at the far end of the room. The team exhaled in relief. Rahul looked at each member, pride in his eyes. We passed the first real challenge. This passage is designed to test courage, intelligence, and teamwork. We have shown that humans can overcome even the most carefully designed obstacles. Marco smiled. It is not just skill. It is patience, observation, and trust. We worked together, and that is what carried us through. Rahul nodded. Exactly. Humans have always faced the unknown with curiosity and bravery. This passage is only the beginning of what we can achieve. As they prepared to move forward, Rahul took one last look at the chamber. The carvings and statues seemed to glow faintly in acknowledgement. The passage ahead was still dark and mysterious, but Rahul felt a deep sense of confidence. The first challenge had been overcome, and the team was ready for whatever awaited them next. With torches lit and hearts steady, Rahul and his team stepped into the next corridor, deeper into the Mayan underworld. The adventure was far from over, but humanity's courage and intelligence would guide them through the trials to come. Rahul led the team deeper into the passage. The corridor twisted and turned in ways that made the air feel heavier with each step. The faint glow of the torches barely lit the walls, but Rahul noticed strange patterns etched into the stone. Some were familiar from the codex, while others seemed alien, showing shapes and forms that no human had seen before. "This place is unlike anything I have studied," Lena whispered. "The carvings are alive with meaning, but some of them I cannot recognize. They feel different, almost otherworldly." Rahul nodded. "That is why we are here. Humans have always faced the unknown and learned from it. We will understand this too." As they continued, the corridor opened into a vast chamber. The air was cooler, almost crisp, and the walls glowed faintly with mineral deposits that reflected their torchlight. Rawl's eyes widened at what he saw. The chamber was filled with small, glowing creatures floating in the air. They were translucent, with soft, flowing forms that changed shape as they moved. Lena gasped. "They are beautiful. I have never seen anything like this." Tomasz frowned. "Are they dangerous?" "We do not know what they are capable of." Marco stepped forward cautiously. "They do not seem aggressive. Watch their movements. They observe but do not attack. Perhaps they are part of the passage's design." Rahul raised his hand to signal caution. "Do not panic. Stay calm and observe. Humans have always succeeded by studying before acting. Let us see what these creatures want." The glowing beings seemed curious. They floated around the team, examining them with soft, shimmering lights. One of the creatures drifted close to Rahul. He extended his hand slowly, and the creature hovered near his palm, then moved away, spinning in gentle circles. "They are intelligent," Rahul whispered. "They understand us in some way, even if we do not fully understand them. We need to respect them and continue carefully." Lena knelt and observed the patterns they made in the air. "They are forming shapes, symbols. It is almost like a language or a message. The passage is communicating with us through them." Tomasz shook his head in disbelief. "I never imagined humans would encounter anything like this. It is proof that the universe is bigger and stranger than we think. Our courage and curiosity brought us here." Rahul smiled. "Exactly. Humans have always explored the unknown. Every discovery begins with courage and determination. These beings are a part of what makes this passage extraordinary." The creatures guided the team forward. As they moved, the walls of the chamber became covered in more symbols, glowing faintly. Rahul recognized some of them from the codex, while others were new, showing patterns that suggested interconnection and cooperation. "They want us to follow them," Rahul said. "Perhaps this is another trial, testing our observation and patience. Humans succeed because we think and learn, not just act. Let us proceed slowly." The team followed the glowing creatures deeper into the chamber. The floor became uneven, and small ridges forced them to step carefully. The creatures hovered around them, illuminating the path and revealing symbols carved into stones that were easy to miss in the dim light. After some time, the chamber opened into a natural cavern. Rawl's torchlight reflected off walls covered in crystals. The glowing creatures floated higher, forming shapes that seemed to indicate a path across the cavern floor. The team could see markings that suggested steps, but some were wide gaps filled with darkness. "This is another challenge," Rahul said. "We must move carefully and follow the guidance of these creatures. Humans succeed through intelligence, patience, and teamwork. Let us show that we can." Marco led the way, testing the steps and signaling the others. Lena followed, reading the symbols and ensuring they moved in the correct sequence. Tomasz carried equipment, ready to help if the path proved too difficult. Rahul brought up the rear, observing the glowing beings and the chamber around them. The team moved slowly, each step deliberate. Some stones shifted slightly under their weight, requiring careful balance. The pit below was deep, but Rahul remained focused, guiding each member through the safest route. When they reached the far side, the glowing creatures gathered near a stone wall. Symbols on the wall began to shine brightly as the creatures hovered around them. Raoul stepped closer and traced the carvings. They depicted humans interacting with strange beings, sharing knowledge, and working together. They were showing cooperation, Raoul said. The passage is teaching us that understanding and teamwork are as important as courage. Humans succeed because we observe, learn, and adapt. We have passed another lesson. Lena smiled. It feels like the passage itself is alive. These creatures, the symbols, even the air, everything is connected. The Mayans may have discovered something extraordinary and hidden it here for humans to find. Tomasz nodded slowly. It is a reminder that humans can achieve great things when we think carefully and act together. This is what makes us different from other creatures. We can understand, plan, and create solutions to problems. Raoul stepped back and looked at the glowing creatures. They will guide us further, I think. We must continue, but remember, respect is as important as bravery. Humans have always succeeded when we combine courage with wisdom. The creatures moved toward a narrow tunnel at the far end of the cavern. The walls were covered with glowing symbols, forming patterns that led the team forward. Raoul followed, torch in hand, feeling a mixture of awe and determination. Each step reminded him of the resilience and intelligence of humans. As they entered the tunnel, the air grew warmer and more humid. The sounds of dripping water and distant echoes filled the passage. Raoul noticed faint carvings on the walls showing humans interacting with other beings, solving problems, and using tools in ways that suggested advanced knowledge. These carvings are incredible, Lena said. They show humans learning and sharing knowledge with others. The Mayans believed in human potential. They knew we could understand the universe. Raoul smiled. Yes, Lena. That is the heart of what we are discovering. Humans have always faced challenges, and our greatest strength is curiosity and intelligence. This passage proves it. The team moved carefully through the tunnel, guided by the glowing creatures and the symbols on the walls. They felt a growing sense of connection to the past, to the Mayans, and to humanity itself. Each step was a reminder that humans had the courage, determination, and wisdom to explore the unknown. Finally, they reached a large chamber where the glow of crystals illuminated the space. The creatures hovered near the ceiling, forming shapes that resembled stars and constellations. Raoul studied the patterns. They are showing us the universe, he said softly. Humans are small, but we have always reached for the stars. This passage is teaching us not only about courage but about our potential. We can achieve great things if we observe, learn, and act together. The team stood in silence, absorbing the beauty and meaning of the chamber. Raoul felt a deep sense of pride in humanity. They had faced fear, uncertainty, and the unknown, and they had succeeded. The passage was a challenge, but it also celebrated what made humans remarkable. Raoul turned to his team. We are not just exploring an ancient passage. We are learning what humans can achieve. Courage, intelligence, and teamwork will guide us forward. The journey is far from over, but we are ready. With hearts full of determination and eyes fixed on the path ahead, Raoul and his team moved deeper into the Mayan underworld, ready to face the next trial. The glowing creatures guided them, the symbols lit the way, and the passage whispered the story of humanity's courage, knowledge, and potential. Raoul led the team through the glowing tunnel, their torches casting light on the intricate carvings that covered the walls. Each symbol seemed to pulse faintly, as if alive, and Raoul could feel the energy of the passage around them. The glowing creatures from the previous chamber floated above, guiding them deeper into the underworld. This tunnel feels different, Lena said softly. The symbols are more complex. It is as if the passage knows we are ready for a greater challenge. Raoul nodded. You are right. Humans have always learned by observation and thought. This trial may test not only our courage but our intelligence. We need to focus and work together. After several minutes, the tunnel opened into a vast chamber. The ceiling soared high above, and the walls were covered in enormous stone tablets. Each tablet was etched with detailed symbols, some geometric, some pictorial, and others that seemed to show mathematical patterns. In the center of the chamber was a large circular platform. The floor of the platform had a series of interlocking shapes that formed a puzzle. Tomasz stepped forward, examining the puzzle. "This is incredible. The symbols form a sequence. We have to solve it to open the next passage. It is like a combination of logic and pattern recognition. Whoever created this wanted only those who could think to pass." Marco observed quietly. The Mayans were masters of mathematics and architecture. This is their way of testing human intelligence. We need to approach it carefully. Raoul knelt near the platform, examining the symbols. The codex mentioned a trial of knowledge. This must be it. We have to analyze each shape and pattern. Humans succeed when we think creatively and logically. Let's begin. Lena crouched beside Raoul, her eyes scanning the carvings. The symbols seemed to follow a sequence based on nature, like the stars, the sun, and water. If we understand the order, we can solve the puzzle. Tomasz nodded. "I see a pattern in the geometric shapes. It is like a combination of mathematics and observation. Step by step, we can figure it out. Let's work together." Raoul instructed the team to examine each section carefully. They worked methodically, discussing their observations and testing small sequences on the platform. The shapes shifted slightly when placed in the correct order, giving them feedback without any danger. "This is like a conversation," Raoul said. "The passage is teaching us through trial and observation. Humans have always succeeded by learning from their environment. That is what we are doing now." After several attempts, they began to recognize the correct pattern. Lena pointed to a series of symbols depicting stars and waves. "This is the key. It represents knowledge and balance. The Mayans wanted us to understand relationships and sequences. Step carefully, and the next path will open." Raoul nodded and placed his hand on the first shape. Tomasz followed, and then Lena. Each of them moved deliberately, adjusting symbols as they went. Slowly, the platform began to rotate, revealing a hidden staircase that descended further into the earth. The team stared in awe. Raoul smiled. "Humans have always succeeded when we observe, think, and work together. This trial proves it. Knowledge is as powerful as courage in this passage." Marco stepped forward, examining the staircase. "The path continues. We have shown the passage our intelligence, but there may be more challenges ahead. We must remain focused." The team descended the stairs carefully, the glow from the walls illuminating their way. The carvings along the walls depicted scenes of humans and other beings exchanging knowledge. Some showed humans using tools, creating structures, and observing the stars. Raoul felt a deep sense of pride in humanity. "These carvings show what humans are capable of," Raoul said softly. "Courage, intelligence, and curiosity have always driven us forward. This passage is teaching us that our potential is limitless." As they moved deeper, the air became cooler, and the sound of flowing water echoed through the corridors. They reached a small chamber where a shallow pool reflected the symbols on the ceiling. In the water, shapes formed patterns similar to those on the stone tablets. Lena knelt beside the pool. "The reflection is part of the puzzle. It shows the correct sequence of the shapes. The Mayans wanted us to use observation and logic together. This is a test of our ability to connect ideas." Raoul nodded. "Humans succeed when we combine intelligence, patience, and careful observation. Let us study the reflection and find the solution." The team worked together, moving symbols in the reflection and comparing them to the stone tablets. Slowly, they aligned the patterns, step by step. Each correct sequence caused a soft hum, as if the chamber itself acknowledged their progress. Tomasz smiled. "It is responding to us. The passage recognizes our efforts and understanding." Humans have always advanced because we do not give up and we learn from our surroundings. Rahul stepped back and observed the chamber. This trial is more than a puzzle. It is a lesson. Knowledge, observation, and teamwork are just as important as courage. Humans have always thrived because we combine these qualities. Finally, the last symbol fell into place. The hum grew louder, and the water in the pool began to glow brightly. A hidden doorway opened at the far end of the chamber, revealing a corridor leading deeper into the passage. The team exchanged smiles of relief and pride. Rahul felt a surge of inspiration. We have passed the trial of knowledge. The passage tested our intelligence, patience, and teamwork. Humans have proven that we can understand and overcome even the most complex challenges. Marco nodded. This is only the beginning. The passage will continue to test us, but we have shown that humans can succeed through thinking and cooperation. That is what makes us strong. Lena looked around the chamber, her eyes shining with excitement. It feels like the passage itself is alive. The carvings, the water, the symbols, they all teach us. Humans have always learned from observation and experience. That is why we succeed. Rahul placed the codex carefully in his satchel. The knowledge we gain here is not just for us. Humans have always passed wisdom from one generation to the next. This passage reminds us that learning and understanding are the keys to progress. As they prepared to move forward, Rahul felt a deep connection to the Mayans who built this passage and the generations that came before him. Their knowledge and wisdom had been preserved for humans capable of understanding it. This trial was not just a test of intelligence, it was a celebration of human potential. The team moved into the corridor beyond the chamber, hearts full of determination. The glowing creatures from the previous chamber reappeared, guiding them as they continued deeper into the underworld. Rahul knew that the trials ahead would be even more difficult, but humanity's courage, intelligence, and teamwork would carry them through. With each step, Rahul felt a growing sense of pride in what humans could achieve. The passage was challenging, mysterious, and dangerous, but it was also a testament to human potential. Knowledge, courage, and collaboration would guide them forward, and the Mayan underworld held secrets that could change everything humans knew about themselves and the universe. Rahul led the team down the narrow corridor, the glow from their torches reflecting off the walls. The air was still and heavy, and every step seemed to echo through the underground passage. The carvings on the walls grew more intricate, depicting scenes that neither Rahul nor Lena had ever seen before. Humans were shown working with beings that seemed to come from another world, building structures, observing the stars, and sharing knowledge. "This is incredible," Lena whispered. "The Mayans may have known more about the universe than anyone realized. These carvings show humans learning from others, not just from themselves." Rahul nodded. "This is what we have been searching for. Humans have always been capable of learning, adapting, and achieving great things. The passage is showing us our potential and the lessons we can carry forward." The team followed the corridor until it opened into a massive chamber. The ceiling was so high that their torches barely reached the top. The walls were covered in glowing symbols, and at the center of the room was a large stone platform surrounded by a shallow pool of clear water. On the platform lay ancient tablets and devices that seemed far more advanced than anything the team had seen. Tomasz stepped forward, examining the objects carefully. "These are not just symbols or stories. This is knowledge. Advanced knowledge about engineering, astronomy, medicine, and energy. The Mayans preserved it here for humans capable of understanding it." Marco studied the glowing symbols on the walls. "It is like a library, but hidden underground. Whoever built this wanted to protect knowledge from those who were not ready. It is a gift to humanity, waiting for the right moment." Rahul approached the platform and gently lifted one of the tablets. The symbols on its surface glowed faintly, as if responding to his touch. He realized that the Mayans had created a system to preserve knowledge across generations, combining science, art, and understanding of the universe. These tablets show that humans have always been capable of extraordinary things, Rahul said. The Mayans wanted to remind us of our potential. We are not limited by what we see today. We can learn, create, and grow beyond imagination. Lena moved closer to examine the tablets. Some of these devices are designed to harness energy in ways that are clean and powerful. Others show advanced medicine that could save countless lives. This is not just history, it is a roadmap for progress. Tomasz nodded. The Mayans understood that humans can rise to challenges. They left this knowledge for those who could use it wisely. We are standing at a point where humanity could take a huge step forward. Rahul looked around the chamber, feeling a sense of awe. The glowing symbols, the ancient tablets, and the devices all told a story of collaboration and intelligence. The Mayans had connected humans with knowledge far beyond their time. This is the revelation, Rahul said. The passage was not only a test of courage and intelligence. It was also a message. Humans have always had the ability to achieve greatness. This knowledge is a proof and a challenge. We can rise, but only if we respect what we learn and use it wisely. Marco examined a device that seemed to respond to touch. It is interactive. The Mayans designed these tools to teach and guide. They were preparing humans for a future that required both wisdom and courage. Lena traced the glowing symbols on the wall. The symbols also show patterns in the stars and planets. The Mayans understood the universe. They knew humans could study it and learn from it. This chamber is proof that intelligence and curiosity are part of our nature. Rahul picked up another tablet and studied it. The markings showed methods of communication, sustainable energy, and ways to travel efficiently. He realized that the knowledge here could change the course of human development. Imagine what humanity could do with this information, Rahul said quietly. We could advance technology, medicine, and exploration. We could live in harmony with nature and understand the universe on a deeper level. Humans have always dreamed of progress, and this passage shows that we are capable of it. Tomasz looked thoughtful. It also reminds us that knowledge must be used carefully. The Mayans built this passage to test us. They wanted to see if humans could be trusted with understanding. We have succeeded because we worked together and thought carefully. Rahul nodded. Exactly. Humans have always succeeded through intelligence, collaboration, and determination. That is why we are here. We can carry this knowledge forward, but we must also respect it. It is a responsibility, not just a treasure. The team spent time examining the tablets and devices, learning from the symbols and patterns. Rahul felt a deep sense of pride. Humans had always been explorers, thinkers, and problem solvers. This chamber was a celebration of human potential and a challenge to use it wisely. As they prepared to leave the chamber, Rahul took one last look around. The glowing symbols seemed to shine brighter, as if acknowledging their understanding. The creatures from the previous chamber hovered near the ceiling, watching silently. Rahul felt that they, too, recognized the human ability to learn and grow. This is only the beginning, Rahul said to his team. The knowledge here is vast. Humans have the courage to face the unknown, the intelligence to solve problems, and the determination to succeed. We have seen proof that our potential is limitless. Lena smiled. It feels like the Mayans wanted us to find this and carry it forward. The passage is a bridge between the past and our future. Humans have always dreamed of reaching higher, and now we can. Marco nodded. We have faced trials of courage, teamwork, and intelligence. This chamber is the reward. But it is also a reminder that humans have responsibilities. Knowledge is power, and power must be guided by wisdom. Rahul carefully packed the tablets and devices for transport. We must carry this knowledge back carefully. Humanity is ready to learn, but we must be responsible. The Mayans trusted us to understand, and we cannot fail that trust. The team began to move toward the corridor leading back. Raoul felt a deep sense of purpose. The journey through the passage had tested them, taught them, and revealed the strength of humanity. Courage, intelligence, teamwork, and curiosity had guided them through the underworld. As they walked, Raoul looked at the glowing symbols along the walls. They told a story of hope, potential, and achievement. The Mayans had left this knowledge not just for discovery, but for inspiration. Humans had always reached for the stars, and now they had a path illuminated by wisdom and history. We are not just explorers, Raoul said softly. We are witnesses to the potential of humanity. This knowledge can guide us to a better future. It is proof that we are capable of great things. The glowing creatures hovered above as the team continued through the passage. Raoul felt a sense of connection to the past, to the Mayans, and to humanity itself. The underworld had revealed its secrets, and with them, a vision of human potential. As the team reached a point where the corridor split into multiple paths, Raoul paused. He realized that the journey was not just about reaching the end of the passage. It was about understanding, learning, and carrying forward the knowledge of those who came before. Humans had proven their worth, and now it was their responsibility to act wisely. With renewed determination, Raoul led the team down the path that would eventually lead them back to the surface. The knowledge they had uncovered was a gift, a revelation, and a challenge. Humanity had the courage, intelligence, and curiosity to rise. The Mayan underworld had revealed not only secrets of the past but also the limitless potential of the human spirit. Raoul led the team through the final stretch of the passage. The air grew warmer as they approached the surface, and the faint light of the outside world began to filter through cracks in the stone. The journey had been long, dangerous, and full of unknown challenges, but the team had faced every trial with courage, intelligence, and determination. Lena walked beside Raoul, her eyes scanning the walls one last time. "It feels strange to leave this place," she said softly. "The passage has been teaching us, guiding us, and now we are stepping back into the world above. I feel like we are carrying more than knowledge. We are carrying a responsibility." Raoul nodded. "You are right, Lena. Humans have always learned from challenges and discoveries. The passage has shown us what we are capable of, and now it is our duty to share that knowledge wisely. This is not the end, it is the beginning of a new journey." Tomasz adjusted his backpack, which now held several tablets and ancient devices. "It is amazing to think about what we have found. Technology, medicine, and energy systems far ahead of our time. This could change humanity's future. But we must be careful. The knowledge is powerful, and humans must use it responsibly." Marco, who had been silent for much of the journey, finally spoke. "We have faced fear, danger, and the unknown. But we did not give up. Humans have always succeeded because we work together, think carefully, and learn from experience. That is what brought us through the underworld." Raoul paused as they reached the final stone doorway leading to the jungle. The carvings on the door glowed faintly, as if acknowledging their journey and success. He placed his hand on the cold stone and took a deep breath. The passage had tested them, taught them, and revealed the potential of humanity. Now it was time to return to the surface and share what they had discovered. As they stepped into the sunlight, the jungle stretched before them, alive with the sounds of birds, insects, and rustling leaves. The air was warm and humid, a stark contrast to the cool, quiet passages below. The team looked at each other, faces glowing with relief, excitement, and pride. Raoul spoke first. "We have returned, but we are not the same as when we entered. The passage has changed us. It has shown us what humans are capable of when we combine courage, intelligence, and teamwork. The knowledge we carry is a gift, and it is our responsibility to use it wisely." Lena smiled. "It feels like the jungle itself is celebrating our return. The world above is waiting for humans to rise, just as the passage has prepared us. We have seen what is possible. Tomasz looked at the tablets in his hands. This knowledge is beyond anything we imagined. Energy systems, medicine, communication methods, and understanding of the universe. Humans have the chance to take a great leap forward, but only if we are careful and thoughtful. Marco nodded. We have learned from the past and from the passage. Humans have always succeeded by observing, learning, and acting together. That is what will guide us in the future. Rahul turned to face the team, feeling a deep sense of connection. We have been pioneers in a hidden world, but the journey does not end here. We must protect this knowledge, understand it, and share it with humanity in a way that inspires growth and progress. The Mayans believed in human potential. Now we must honor that belief. As they walked through the dense jungle, Rahul reflected on everything they had seen. The passage had tested their courage, intelligence, and teamwork. It had introduced them to creatures and symbols that challenged their understanding of reality. And it had revealed knowledge that could shape the future of humanity. This is more than a discovery, Rahul said quietly. It is a reminder of what humans can achieve. We are capable of learning, creating, and rising to challenges that seem impossible. The passage has shown us the best of what we can be. Lena looked up at the canopy above, sunlight streaming through the leaves. Humans have always dreamed of exploring the unknown. We have faced fear, solved puzzles, and overcome obstacles. Now we carry the proof that our curiosity and intelligence can lead to greatness. Tomasz added, it is also a lesson. Knowledge is powerful, but it must be guided by wisdom. The Mayans built this passage to test and teach us. We have succeeded because we combined courage, intelligence, and respect for what we discovered. Marco smiled. We are part of a long line of humans who have explored, learned, and grown. The passage is a reminder that we can rise above challenges when we act together and think carefully. Rahul nodded, feeling a surge of determination. We will take this knowledge to the world, but we must do so responsibly. Humans have the ability to shape the future. We can use this discovery to improve lives, expand understanding, and inspire generations. The Mayan passage was built to prepare us for this moment. As they emerged from the jungle ruins, Rahul looked back one last time. The stone doorway stood silently, the carvings glowing faintly in the sunlight. It was a reminder of the trials they had faced and the knowledge they had gained. The underworld was no longer a mystery, it was a testament to human courage, intelligence, and potential. The team made their way back to their base camp, carrying the tablets, devices, and the codex. The journey back was quiet, each member reflecting on the adventure and the lessons learned. Rahul felt a deep sense of pride in his team and in humanity. They had faced the unknown and emerged stronger, wiser, and more determined than ever. At camp, Rahul gathered the team around a fire. We are pioneers, he said. We have seen the secrets of the past, learned from them, and now we carry them into the future. Humans have always succeeded by facing challenges, thinking carefully, and working together. This discovery is proof of that. It is a reminder that our potential is limitless when we combine courage, intelligence, and teamwork. Lena smiled. It feels like we have become part of something greater. The passage has shown us what humans can achieve. We have learned, grown, and proven ourselves. Tomasz nodded. And now it is our responsibility to share it wisely. The knowledge we carry can change humanity, but only if we respect it and use it for good. Marco added, we have seen the strength of humans. We have faced fear, solved problems, and worked together. That is what will guide us as we move forward. Rahul looked at the fire, then at his team. The Mayan passage has given us knowledge, challenges, and inspiration. We must honor it by using what we have learned. Humans have always reached for the unknown, and now we have the chance to rise even higher. This is our moment. As the sun set over the jungle, casting long shadows across the ruins, Rahul felt a deep sense of accomplishment. Humanity had proven its courage, intelligence, and determination. The Mayan underworld had revealed its secrets, and the team had emerged as pioneers ready to guide humanity toward a brighter future. With the tablets, codex, and knowledge in hand, Rahul and his team prepared to return to the world above. The journey through the passage had tested them in every way, but it had also revealed the limitless potential of humans. Courage, intelligence, teamwork, and curiosity had carried them through the underworld, and now these qualities would guide them as they shared the discovery with the world. The Mayan passage had been revealed, and humanity was ready to rise.